Ladies and gentlemen, with big hands, Mikko Kaipainen.
So, hi everyone. As introduced, I'm Mikko Kaipainen from Ovelin. I'm COO and co-founder. I was asked to come here to tell a bit about how Ovelin got started and how we have progressed and so on, a bit kind of growth story and so on. So I thought to give a bit kind of insights on first how we actually got started, of course show the game, and then talk a bit more the progress, maybe the more topical ones, the funding, and then what's next on our list. So a few words about Ovelin. It's a bit crazy and hard-working group. People who are motivated and determined to change how people learn to play music instruments and revolutionize music games as well. Company was established originally 2010, and currently we are about 10 people or so. I would like to first say a few words about our released game, WildChords, to get you a bit feeling, those ones that haven't seen yet the game. Shame you. You can see what it's all about. So WildChords is a game that motivates and helps you to train your guitar skills. It's played with a real guitar, like this one. This is a bit smaller version, handier to carry, and just a traditional or normal iPad as well, without any additional equipment. Let's take a quick look. Here we go. And we have it upside down. And we have it right way. Good. And we have the sound. Thank you. All right. So the background story behind the game is that animals have gone wild from the zoo, and now you have to gather them by playing their favorite chords and notes. It's kind of a modern version of Pied Piper of Hamelin, if you know the story. Each exercise is a game level that you get evaluated on. You get 3 stars, early rewards, like in mobile games normally. I thought that since it's a springtime and everyone has kind of really excited about that spring is coming and sun is rising, I will play some Christmas songs to you today, so you get the feeling. So this is now the chord exercise. Let's put the silent night. Not the most grooviest, but still. So first thing you have to do is train the chords. So apes like the A chord.
Brilliant.
Ducks like the D chord.
Wonderful.
And the elephants the E chord.
And now you can play.
Cool. Let's go in the gameplay mode. So you see that if I play the right chord for the right animal, they get hypnotized and start to follow.
Combo.
But if I play D for ape, he doesn't like it, because the ducks like the D chord. Good. So what is really happening here, of course, is not just that you are gathering animals. It's actually you are training chord changes, you are training your motoric skills, your rhythmic ear, everything that is needed in the early phase of music. I show you quickly still other exercise mode, which is a single note exercise or melody exercise, which is meant to train your kind of, let's say, solo parts or something like this. This is a traditional guitar tabulature presentation, a bit gamified. So there's each wire represents a string, and the birds on the strings, they tell which fret you press or where you play with the number in their belly. Let's see. This is a bit more challenging one. And if you miss one, then they hit your balloons, and when you lose your 5 balloons, you have to try again. It's a game. Anyways, that was quite challenging, but those one of you that have seen this before, I have progressed, as you have seen. All right, but that's the game more or less. I mean, we have a lot of different exercises that you can choose. You can download additional content for a small fee, and of course, we are releasing all the time more content as well. But let's jump back to the presentation. Thank you. All right. But then, to the other topic. So, how did this actually got started? All beginning. Actually, I met Chris during my end of my studies in TUT. We did a lot of kind of end courses or kind of business management courses that were quite demanding and kind of challenging task project works and so on. And we got to work quite a lot together, which was a good kind of testing environment for us to see that how do we actually work together. If you have a deadline, if you have a challenging task that you work, it's a good testing environment. We ended up realizing that we actually work really well together, and we have skills that kind of benefit from each other and contribute to the end goal. And this is one kind of point maybe that I have found out that it's really important to kind of see that or kind of realize the importance of the people that you surround yourself, especially in the beginning, of course, because it's really challenging, demanding. You have to put a lot of, you are only 2 of you taking the whole thing forward. But in later phases as well, when you are recruiting first members to your team and forward. But for the picture, so this was actually our first company, Pineapple, that we set up. It was making PCs and microchips to the global markets, simulation world though. And we ended up succeeding. We put a lot of effort on the simulation, half-year simulation, and we ended up actually succeeding quite well on that one. And then the professor that was hosting the course or organizing the course, he actually, in the end, gave us €20 bill from his pocket as a reward that you did so well with all. So, of course, we thought that, yeah, let's invest this seed funding now to develop some cooler business ideas than PCs and microchips. So we went for a beer and bounced ideas a lot, talked a lot, kind of different business ideas that both of us were kind of interested on entrepreneurship and doing something of our own, not just going on those paths that many of our friends chose. We did this a lot, well, not that lot, but we kind of realized, of course, at some point that these ideas are nice, but they don't go anywhere as they are now like this. So you have to actually do something for those ones. So that's what we did. We sat down, analyzed a bit the problem, the market potential, the resources and requirements, technical, human, any resources that we need, and then benchmarked a bit kind of that, or saw that what is out there already, what kind of products are there. And I would see this as a kind of, for someone that is thinking about entrepreneurship, this is what you should probably be doing in the beginning a lot as well, because it teaches you also on the analytic thinking, I would say. I got a lot from these sessions. We sat down for 2 hours, more or less, looked for information, went through things, then iterated. One thing that we didn't do so well at that point, on my opinion, was to talk to the people and go to meet your potential customers at that point. Already then get the initial feedback on that one. One example on that one was that we actually, for a long time, we thought that, hey, that the guitar teachers, they actually might be afraid of this kind of product that they, for their profession or whatever. When we started to talk a lot with guitar teachers, they actually said that, hey, this is really cool that you are solving our biggest problem, which is to motivate kids at the home. It's not a problem at the lesson, but at the home. So that was quite cool. But let's see a few examples what we got out of this, just as an example. First of all, we found out by searching a bit that about 85% of the people that start to play a music instrument, they actually quit soon after. This gave us some kind of idea that, yeah, there actually is some kind of problem with existing models, and there might be something to do. The other thing that we found out is that actually over 1/3 of people in EU and US only play or learn to play music instrument, of which about 1/4 chooses guitar. So these ones are those ones that are already actively engaged, not just those ones that raise their hand when you ask that do they want to play a guitar. So there seems to be some market as well. These are just few examples to get them. Of course, we looked at the technology and so on. My point here being more that I want to make it clear that I don't want that, I wouldn't suggest that you sit down and write a 10-page business plan and start executing. We did a business plan and put a lot of effort on that in the beginning, and I think that was a bit waste of time in many cases, because it iterated so many times, as it should be. So, but just to get the basic idea that where do you actually stand with your idea, and then start iterating with talking people and so on. So, few words about the progress. There's the famous pineapple, did a big success. So it was 2009 about. Then the project was actually, originally the music game was called Star Eyes. We had a cool eye logo and everything. And that was early 2010. We sat, or we kind of worked from Uusi Tehdas, which used to be Protomo. And we got a good kind of working environment there. We got a good group of possible good innovative environment where you have a lot of kind of people, also possible people to hire for your team, and you get a lot of ideas from there. So that was really good for us. We participated on the Idea-kilpailu, so we tried out our business concept because we had wrote that business plan. And we did a technology prototype at the same time, got a bit funding for that with a third party. Then we did a lot of kind of product and market analysis and design. Then finally, late 2010, we established company. Before that, we have started already the demo game development. And when we got that ready, we started, of course, user tests, which was really kind of the initial feedback from the users. Then it, of course, like the demo really gave us possibility to show that what are we actually pitching all the time. Many times people were kind of, after you gave a pitch or presented the idea, they understood that, so you make some kind of special guitar. No, I don't. And it really, if you have something kind of tangible that you can show, it's always good. The other thing we did, we participated a lot of competitions. We tried to seek all the kind of possible. We always said that it shake all the trees and something might fall, more or less. And yeah, something fell. So we got some initial funding from different sources. We got team extended a bit to total of 5, beginning of 2011. Version 1.0 development altogether from that crappy demo version, then moving on the iPad in the spring 2011, then releasing it on mid-November. We also have a patent pending, and then one important part in 2011, what we did, what really set our business development on the kind of new course was really startup sauna program. That was really an accelerator program, or kind of like it really gave us a kick in the butt in that sense, that go out and really start developing it further. That was really good for us. As said, the product was released there. One thing that slide don't show so much is, of course, like I said, that we participated in a few competitions. We actually participated quite many of those. That might be partly because me and Chris, we are both not that good coders. We couldn't actually implement a lot of stuff that we were so passionately kind of putting forward. But we did what we did best, more or less. So did the business development, concept design, and acquired resources to take it further. These are some of the competitions that we have actually won or kind of got something out of. Of course, there's a lot of things a lot of applications, a lot of stuff that didn't result in anything. And here, I would say that it's for us, these competitions have been really great opportunity of getting visibility, getting feedback for your product. You get a lot of listeners like now, and then you go to talk with people, you get a lot of feedback from them. And it even gave some crucial kind of initial capital to put things forward. But the main point of this slide is more or less that especially in the beginning, you have to be really active and go out a lot. Or at least I saw that in our case it made a lot of sense, and it has resulted on good things. So be active. Then I thought to tell a few things or just talk briefly on funding, because it was kind of a topical issue in February for us. Because there came this kind of news. And everyone always says that funding takes a lot of time, or raising funding, it takes a lot of time, and they are totally right. It takes so long time, especially for the first timers, in my opinion. Of course, if you're a serial entrepreneur, you go with and you have a kind of, made a nice exits, you raised 100 million euros in past. It might be a bit easier for you with a great team to go with the slide deck and raise some initial capital. But for everyone that starts kind of first time doing this, it's quite challenging. In the early phase, as I said, we participate in a lot of competitions, shake all the trees. Also, when in Finland, of course, we applied for a lot of public funding. So it's really about kind of we tried to find all the possible sources of funding for our company to take it further. And that worked out for us. Of course, it depends on your business a lot and your team. So these are just story about how we found it out. Other thing is that when you are building a global product, I think that people should also keep in mind that the kind of the financing of that great vision and that great company, that markets for those are also global. So not just sticking in Finland and looking a bit outside as well. If I would kind of turn back time, I would have probably booked flights first to London and go to see pitch idea there, where there is actually some private equity available and angels available. And then, of course, as early as possible, in my opinion, go to Silicon Valley and get a kind of crash course, what we did in Startup Sauna, on what is happening there. But of course, this is again something that depends on your business a lot. For us, one kind of realization also like now afterwards is that it's good to know what is needed also, like what are they looking for. For us, if you are making a simple software product or mobile game or something like this, you have, everyone knows that it's so cheap to build that you have to have at least a demo, you have to have a beta out or something, you have to have first customers, even some kind of interest on kind of building the traction of the product. That is, at least for the first time. As I said again, if you're a serial entrepreneur with choose exits or something, good team, might go with the slide deck, but for the rest of us, should be something that is tangible and already showing some traction. So, then moving away from that, what's next? So more or less, what have we worked for the past month, and what is coming next? New challenges always. I think that's kind of the main point. Also, what in this great learning path that we have taken is that always when you kind of succeed something, it leads to a new challenge, which is great. I mean, it's so enjoyable to move from some problem to move on the some new challenges. One new challenge, of course, if you have a bit resources, you wanna get a great team together. We have a lot of job openings at the moment open, and recruitment is something that takes a lot of time. It's a challenge for every company. Keeping the focus. It's really easy to keep the focus if you have a shoestring budget. You can only do one thing at a time, and really see that what is out. What can you get out? If you have a bit resources, you have to think and keep the focus. And in the end, of course, still revolutionizing the music education and the music games. As a quick summary on my kind of points that I wanted to somehow bring at this presentation, really the importance of the people, great co-founder, great workers, great team that you can trust on. Other parts, really in the early phase, knowing your business and iterating, analyzing, testing, iterating things a lot. Fail fast in that sense. And then fourth point, be active, especially in the beginning. When you have to be out there, get a lot of feedback, and you should of course keep that going all the time. But especially in the beginning, when you have to do a lot of iterations, be active, be present. If you don't want to yet start up a company, or if you are not sure about that yet, go to actually be actively involved in organizations like Aalto Yes or something like that. That you kind of get the feeling of what is happening as well there. And you can build the network that you will need anyway when you go forward. I think that was actually it. Might be that I did a bit shorter presentation, but it was before lunchtime, so I thought it won't be a problem.
Thank you very much, Mikko. And as you saw, here is a rockman and a guitar on the stage just now. Now we have some time for questions, so please. But would you please use the microphone? I don't know, where is it? Is it here? So would you please come here? You can keep it there and share the device to the next one.
Yeah, for 1.4 million, how much did you have to lose of your percentage of your shares?
We haven't disclosed that one, so and won't. So I would say, I mean, the investors are always looking some kind of share of the company, of course.
Are we talking about half?
No. But I mean, it's they seem to have their normally. It's also one thing I would say as the kind of sweet point of the investors on different phases. Also, that's something to think about, at least for me. Like they want, the more important part is like getting a certain share in some cases at least, and then actually the amount of money that they are looking after. So, but I don't want to put any numbers now.
Something else? Please use here.
Hey, you didn't talk about the money numbers, but I would ask about when you were going from different development stages to another, then what were the actual user numbers for you? For example, when you raised your first seed money, when you went to venture capital, what results you already had shown?
Okay, yeah, that's actually a good point. When we launched the game, the actual kind of global launch was 17th, if I remember correctly, 17th of November. And at that point, we got about, in 1 month time period, we got about 100,000 downloads, which on our opinion was quite good for a game, iPad game that you played with a guitar. We kind of built up a bit, of course, or things kind of fall into places. We were active as always, but things fall into places because we had the product actually out. First time it actually mattered how much we were out and were visible. So we contacted, were in these events, presenting the idea, and when you kind of can benefit from that visibility, giving, of course, all the follow-up interviews and stuff like this, then you can actually benefit from that visibility when you have the product out. But first month it was about, or until Christmas it was about 100,000 downloads or so.
You also got into the featured apps, or you did some special, workarounds or finding loopholes to get there?
We got quite good featuring there as well. So we were several tens of countries that we were featured, so in main banner.
Take much more. Because you said that in the first beginning you were, or you supposed that those guitar teachers were not so eager to take this kind of software in their use. Why? What was the background of this suppose?
I think it was a kind of maybe a bit naive thinking of when we actually analyze your playing, and we can give feedback that the guitar teacher can as well. Not on each kind of step, we can give that feedback as well, but not analyze that one. So we thought that it might kind of be some kind of, they might see it as some kind of risk for their kind of basic education, that people don't go on guitar lessons, or they don't choose it so much, that this is kind of comes in between of self-learning and the guitar lessons, and people might go on that one. But then, as said, it was actually all the guitar teachers that we talked more or less were saying that this is actually our biggest problem as well, that the motivation is really the key point in the beginning, and you are solving that problem there. So.
But you don't have any teacher in your group and in your next to your company, so you are only programmers and specialists.
Actually, we have had, of course, interaction with teachers a lot, music educators, and from time to time we have also have those in team. And actually, this Monday we Joachim, are you somewhere in the crowd as well? Our new music education or music content designer specialist started as well, so has an education background. So of course it's an important element of our game that has to be considered. But it doesn't have to always come so that you have a group of music teachers starting a startup, but more that you kind of go out, talk with people, get them engaged with the product.
My guess is that if you have a group of music teachers, the company does not exist. But sorry about all those teachers and educators. But what is the target group of your customers? Are there children or adults, or who they are? Who is the core of the users which are using your service?
Yeah. Core of the user, I mean, it is targeted for children. I think it's 72 or 62% of the people that start to play a guitar are aged 6 to 12. So that was kind of a main design point when we started off. The thing was that we have actually got a lot of good feedback from adult audience as well, that don't mind that it has animal graphics or so. So it is targeted for children and as a family game that kind of parents can play as well.
Okay, and you can imagine that all those people, or we can use this service too. But do you have any questions? Please, the microphone is somewhere there in the middle, so please.
Are
Are you planning versions to any other platforms besides iPad?
Yeah. That is. I mean, at the moment, as said, it's only on iPad, which is already limiting, like on iOS, and we plan to release it multi-platform still this year. So we are planning Android and also on PC or desktop desktop computers. So browser-based version of the game.
Thanks.
Thank you. Any other questions? Please, you were first, so please use the microphone. Thank you.
So, what will be the other products? Because this is, when somebody learns already how to play, he or she is not your customer anymore. So, what are you going to do next?
Yeah, I think it's as you saw, this game has a special kind of target group in that sense. It's targeted for the early phases of the playing. When you move out, I mean, we have already. I would say that we can kind of offer exercises in this kind of game concept and content in this kind of game concept from right from the beginning when you touch first the guitar to the somewhere in the kind of you can play certain songs and kind of on the mid level or so. When you move on with your hobby as well, of course the interest might change as well on different aspects of the playing. So, is it this type of game that we want to offer for those? It is not. That there will be different kind of products, different kind of services for those ones that kind of have interest on different aspects of the music hobby.
But when do you know that you should develop another version or some other product? How do you measure the time when you should start?
Of course, I mean it's first of all we analyze your guitar skills. That's of course one indication that we can suggest you trying different products as well or different aspects of the game. On the other hand, I think also that the kind of the interest of the people targets you more on the other products as well. One important thing to mention is of course that have to see also that of course that the product supports different stages of your learning or your music hobby, but it doesn't have to be this product. It doesn't have to be this type of product either, and it's about understanding the customer all along, kind of.
You had also some, yeah, please.
You mentioned that you applied for a patent. So patent bases are open by nature. So could you disclose the information in which country you applied for a patent and what's the essence of your invention?
It's still in the process. I mean, it has been filed, so it's not, I think, yet public. We filed it first in Finland, and then you have option to kind of open it up or kind of widen it for other countries as well on certain time period, more or less. So that's as it is not yet public, I wouldn't want to disclose yet information on that.
Thanks.
Yep.
Thank you very much. Anything else? You said that your company and you moved from Tampere to Helsinki just now. Are you interested in ice hockey? Because I fully understand why you left Tampere. So sorry about that.
Yeah. No, actually I don't.
Okay,
I'm
but you knew the system because you loved.
Yeah.
But with big hands, Mikko will get this very nice cup for your coffees.
Ooh.
And we thank you for your very interesting presentation. And we are really happy if you can join us and be there the whole afternoon. So because someone of those will have some questions too. And now we have the next program, which is lunch.